David, you went into last week's game, two sides who'd been beaten the week before, and I suppose you've got the same sort of hurt and anger to deal with from Wasps. Actually, they're going to come at you as an angry team this week, aren't they?
As we say every week, our focus really has been on ourselves. We talked last week about we believe that the Leicester game, the Leicester performance was a bit of a blip in what has been a consistent season so far, and I think we showed that last weekend. And we know the challenge that Wasps have, the threat that they have all around the pitch, in terms of defenders. But they win, or they're in the lead in almost every stat. They're an outstanding team, and that in itself has given us a really good focus for Sunday afternoon.
And I suppose, performing as they did against Saracens, they've set a very high bar for themselves, haven't they, the team?
That's the bar we've set for ourselves right throughout the course of the year. Yes, the results haven't always gone the way that we like, but there have been most games, those key fundamental parts of the game have been there. And once again last weekend, I thought in terms of the way we managed the game, we were patient. We talked about how we want to play against Saracens, and really from not just the starting 15 but the players who came on stuck to what we talked about doing, and in the end we got the win.
In a way, you out Saracens. Can you out Wasps?
When you say we out Saracens, I think we had a template from when we went up to the Alliance earlier in the year. We got very close to getting a result that day. We knew what you have to do to beat Saracens. You've got to stay patient. You've got to be able to match them in the set piece, and you just can't make mistakes. And I thought for large parts of the game on last weekend we were very good.
Yeah, the error count was very low, and of course you've already beaten Wasps at Kingsholm this season. So does that count for anything?
Previous results count for nothing. Almost 1 week to the next counts for nothing. But we do know that the game that we have, if we implement it well, as you said, if we cut down our mistakes, our unforced errors, if we cut down on the penalties we've conceded, and we play with the same edge, physical presence in the tackle and set piece, we're a match for anybody.
And what does a success like last week do in terms of confidence and belief, and enable you to sort of say to the players, look, stick to what you're doing, it works?
I don't think confidence and belief have really been the issue. We've been unbeaten, or we'd won, I think, maybe 5 out of the previous 6 games. We were all a little bit taken aback by that Leicester performance. Forget about the result again, but the Leicester performance wasn't what we've set ourselves out to be this year. But we said all along it was a blip. We look back at why it happened. We take some blame for that in terms of how we set the team up, how we prepared for that game, and it's something we've learned from, something that won't happen again this season.
How big a threat are Wasps? Because obviously everyone knows about their fast-flowing backs and just Cipriani's ability to release them.
To be where they are in the Premiership, to be in the knockout stages of Europe, you've got to have an all-round game, and they're strong right throughout their squad. They've recruited well. They've built a good, strong coaching team, a stable coaching team. They know how they want to play, but obviously the big threat they have is their ability to score tries from nothing. Even last weekend, when they didn't play as well as they can, they still scored tries almost for fun when they created those opportunities. So we've got to make sure that we control the pace of the game. We've got to make sure that we control field position, and we've got to make sure that when we've got the ball, we hold on to the ball and take those opportunities that will come our way.
When you kick, a Wasp is a little bit more likely to try and run it back at you than Saracens, who might sort of kick for position.
Depends on how you kick. If you kick well, and our half-backs over the last few weeks have kicked particularly well. If you kick well, teams don't get the opportunity to run back. Everybody talks about your kick only being as good as the chase, and that's something that's been an integral part of our game this season, and it will be tested. If we kick loosely to Wasps with the players they have, they will cause us problems, but we're going in with a clear idea of what we want to do, and now it's about executing that.
How's Billy Burns? Because for 12 minutes it looked really, really bad, and then fortunately social media, I think, actually sort of worked in everyone's favour there, and sort of actually there was good news.
Nobody likes to see any player on the ground for any length of time during the game, so there was obviously some concern, but with the medical team and the medical facilities at Kingsholm, Billy was looked after brilliantly, taken to hospital, checked out, and nothing serious at all. So he's been in with us all week, and he's undergoing treatment, and we're hoping that he'll be available to play this weekend.
Because his tackle count was particularly high, and I suppose that's the physical commitment you want from everyone, no matter whether they're Jeremy Thrush's side or Billy Burns' size.
The modern game, you can't carry players, whether that's in defence or attack. And I think one of the big parts of Billy's game that he's prided himself on this year has been his defence. It's not an area that we've conceded many tries through. We haven't conceded gain lines, and he knows that just because of the position that he plays, he's going to be targeted physically. But I think that's been something that's challenged him, something that's almost inspired him this year to play the way that he has.
Motu Matu obviously went off with a head injury assessment. How's he?
He's fine as well. So as would normally be the case with a concussion, you go through the return to play, and he's undertaking that this week. The advantage being with a 9-day turnaround between games, it gives you a little bit extra time to make sure that the players are fully recovered and ready to play.
Anyone else coming back into the mix this week?
No, there'll be nobody else coming back into the mix. The other slightly longer term injuries are all progressing well, all on course for a return in probably just over a month's time.
Obviously, no Ross Moriarty in the back row this weekend. Obviously, presumably delighted that he's starting for Wales, but big boots to fill there again.
I'm not surprised Ross was picked based on his performance. Last time for Wales, it would have been very, very hard to leave him out, and I think huge credit to him to come from that international stage and having trained with Wales to come into Gloucester for a couple of days and produce the performance that he did. I thought he was outstanding. I'm really looking forward to seeing him back playing again for Wales this weekend.
And an interesting one for you is you have to rejig the back row.
Yeah, it's something we've had to do over the course of the last few weeks. We've got some good options with Lewis Ludlow stepped up this year. Almost every time he's played. Callum Mafoney's coming back from injury again and from the bump that he picked up against Leicester. So we've plenty of options there. It's not an area that we're concerned about.